Toronto sports fans finally have something to cheer about. The Jays clinched the division title for the first time in 22 years, sweeping the Baltimore Orioles 15-2. 5 Canadian provinces increased their minimum wage for thousands of workers. In Ontario, it goes up 25 cents an hour. Russia hits more ISIS targets in Syria. Hi, and welcome to Humber News. I'm Tanya Veneri, coming to you from our newsroom here at Humber College North Campus. It's been a long time coming, but after 22 years, the American League East title is flying north of the border.
There it is. Strike 3. LaTroy Hawkins completes the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays can celebrate.
Last night, the Jays clipped the wings of the Orioles in a 15-2 win, breaking their 2-decade playoff drought. The players wasted no time rushing the field to celebrate their long-awaited victory. The last time the Jays earned the title was in 1993. General manager Alex Anthopoulos was front and center at the game and was cheered by fans for putting together such a great team. Throughout the country, Blue Jays fans have been celebrating big time, but nowhere more than here at home. Our reporter Nick Bear hit the halls of Humber to hear what you think.
So the Jays clinched the AL East. I'm here with Trent, big Jays fan. How do you feel, man?
I'm super excited. I've never experienced anything like this before.
It was pretty exciting yesterday night.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, why?
I'm excited.
I'm super excited.
Honestly, I feel really happy and proud about what our team is doing.
So last night, kind of brought a tear to your eye.
So how old were you the last time they made it, 1993?
I was like 3 years old. Oh my God, yeah.
I was 1 year old.
I'm 34 years old, so I was old enough to see 93.
2 months.
2 months.
So I've never remembered anything like this.
I think my mom was alive, and no, I was in her stomach.
So how far do you think they're going to go?
Honestly, I don't want to jinx it, but I feel like World Series.
All the way, man, all the way.
Why not? Why not? Let's hope. It can happen. It can happen. I think so.
We can take them.
Yeah, we can take them for sure.
We got this.
We got this. We got this.
So where does this rank then in terms of Toronto sports moments for you, or all-time sports moments?
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2. The Jays win in 93 is number 1.
I'd say probably number 2.
Yeah?
Yeah.
After what?
Probably Raptors making the playoffs.
Probably up there, like number 3, number 2. Has to be, because, 22 years since we've been in the playoffs?
Being a diehard sports fan and Jays being my team, it's top, the best one yet.
I went out last night, got drunk with my buddies, had a great time. Just the fact that we clinched our spot, top in the AL East, oh my God, I'm so happy.
At work already today. Their game in Baltimore is currently in a rain delay. The Orioles lead 3-0 in the first. We'll have lots more details coming up in sports. Overseas now, the Russian military is in its second day of airstrikes on Syria and have now targeted a known stronghold of the militant group ISIS. Russian warplanes bombed an airbase in northern Syria in a region under ISIS control. The Russian Defense Ministry says 4 ISIS targets were destroyed, but there's no confirmation they were ISIS strongholds. American and Russian officials are in talks today, even though Russia says it doesn't want to be part of the American-led coalition. The first direct flight from the U.S. to Cuba has touched down in Havana. The flight from Baltimore to Havana is the latest move in the thawing of relations between the two countries. In July, they reestablished diplomatic ties after half a century of Cold War tensions. The U.S. wants to strike a deal that will let airlines schedule flights to Cuba as soon as possible. Back at home, some good news today for workers. 5 provinces are bumping up the minimum wage. In Ontario, the raise is 25 cents to $11.25 an hour. Humber reporter Christy Farr has the story.
25 cents can't get you much these days, but for the 11% of Canadians earning minimum wage, 25 cents more per hour will make a difference.
And it might seem little, but it does
Makes a difference.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
Everyone remembers their first job struggling to make ends meet.
2, 3, McDonald's. That's the only thing we can do because of school and stuff. So we don't have the flexibility to work full-time jobs that are, higher pay.
If you wanted more money, you had to, work more hours just to get that amount of money that you need.
Although the raise will help, minimum wage workers are often required to work more hours to earn more money, making it difficult to save or find a higher paying job.
it kind of gets into a vicious cycle that they get into a job which might be a minimum wage or maybe a little bit higher, but it's hard to find the time to kind of get out and, you know, and look for a full-time job because you're already working on a part-time.
Today marks the 9th minimum wage increase in Canada since 2003. Ontario has the second highest minimum wage in the country after the Northwest Territories. But is it enough? Christy Farr, Humber News.
Former CBC radio host John Gameshi was back in court this morning in Toronto. He pleaded not guilty to 5 charges at a pretrial hearing. Gameshi pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of sexual assault and 1 of overcoming resistance by choking. He's elected to be tried by judge alone. His trial will begin February the 1st. And jury selection begins today for James Forcillo, the police officer accused of killing Sammy Ateem on a TTC streetcar in 2013. Forcillo's lawyer says his client is eager to tell his side of the story. He pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and attempted murder in a court appearance yesterday. The trial begins in 2 weeks. After another marathon debate, Toronto City Council has decided on the fate of Uber. Rebecca Pelosa-Malera has the story.
It's official. The ride-sharing app Uber is here to stay. Despite the strong efforts to eliminate the service, Toronto City Council has voted in favor. Mayor John Tory took to Twitter to explain that this is what the people want. And for the students here at Humber, the motion to keep the app is beneficial.
It's good to regulate services like Uber because it allows students like myself to find a cheaper way of transportation.
Yesterday, Toronto City Hall was filled with both Uber and city taxi drivers. Although the cab drivers were enraged, the fares will be dropping as of November 1st. But for now, many millennials will continue to use the Uber service.
And I feel like a lot of the people, especially the young teenagers or the youth group mostly, find it a lot more comfortable to be able to just reach out to someone through an app.
Council requested that Uber stop running until the regulations have become finalized, but it's unlikely. Further details on the regulations on all ground transportations, including Uber, will be released this upcoming spring. I'm Rebecca Pelosa-Malera, Humber News.
Aspiring Canadian nurses are finding themselves at the mercy of an American-made exam. Sasha Aziz has the story.
We're at the School of Health Sciences here at Humber College, where a new American-based NCLEX exam is getting mixed reviews from the public. Online-based American exam recently replaced the old written test for nursing students in Canada. Dean of Health Sciences Jason Powell says he sees the exam being more student-centered and friendly.
It's a extremely flexible exam where students can register and attend a testing center and complete the exam online.
The opinions of Humber students vary.
As someone who I have more of an interest in medical surgical nursing, and NCLEX has more of an emphasis on that than on the old community or type of thing that they used to have. I'm for the NCLEX exam.
I think it's a little ridiculous because the curriculum that we have in Canada is completely different. So students are really prepared for the NCLEX exam.
Registered nurse Allie Clinton says it will take some time for students to adjust.
NCLEX tends to be more pathophysiology, and that our exam in the past had been more psychosocial.
So far, the pass rate is down by 20% in Ontario. Diabo Asha says the fear of the unknown plays a big role for students.
I would say from what I heard from some people before the exam, the anxiety was so much on the side of the student that are writing the exam because they don't know what to expect.
Students will have 3 tries to complete the test. NCLEX also means that Canadian nurses will be licensed to practice in the U.S. Sasha Aziz, Humber News.
Overseas now, Singapore is covered by a thick blanket of haze caused by heavy smoke from forest fires in neighboring Indonesia. The haze is causing problems across Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. Officials say the haze should disappear once the fires are under control, sometime next month. Indonesia is the world's 5th largest greenhouse gas emitter. In haze of a different kind, it's a big day for the budding pot industry in Oregon. At the stroke of midnight, it became legal for medical dispensaries to sell marijuana for recreational use. Entrepreneurs and cannabis enthusiasts are welcoming the new legislation. Buds, seeds, and immature plants can now be purchased by anyone over the age of 21. When we come back, we'll tell you what's happening in the world of sports, and Christina Romualdo will have your 3-day forecast.
October 1st, which means fall has officially arrived and it looks like it's here to stay. I'll have your full 3-day forecast after the break.
But for now, we leave you with this. If you think the CN Tower glass floor is scary, wait until you see this. China has unveiled a glass bridge in Hunan province that's giving tourists quite a thrill. It was originally supposed to be a wooden floor, but designers decided to make it glass to up the fear factor. Looks like they succeeded.